Okay, so it is peak week for me. Today is Tuesday. My show is on Saturday. Try to get through this without a lot of fluff. Just run through the current protocols. My diet currently is standing at 50 grams of carbs for breakfast, cream of rice. I do meal 2, have 100 grams of jasmine rice there. And then post-workout, meal 3 is cream of rice as well, 50 grams. So those cream of rice yield about 35 grams of carbs, and the jasmine rice yields around 40. So that's around 100 grams of carbs a day. So that's not too bad. Definitely done lower. I've had last year I had several no carb days strung together. I was with a different coach. I don't feel like it really worked for me. I was extremely flat and wasn't able to recover, wasn't able to fill up at the end, and just yielded a flat, although dry look, but it was flat and soft, so not flat and hard like you would like. So we are trying to dry out a little bit more. Water is at 6 liters daily. I'm sure that will taper down as we go here. I am taking a milligram of Arimidex a day for about the last 9 days. We'll go into the show with that. May seem aggressive to some, but it works good for me. I feel fine. So that will help dry out and get that. We've been trying to churn the last little bit of fat off here, so that helps with that, having the low estrogen. So I'm not using diuretics for this. I feel like they've flattened me out in the past. I may be open to a little bit of Diazide in the future, but we figured we would go the safe route on this one and just try to keep that water inside the muscle to give a little bit of a rounder, fuller look. Speaking of that, rounder and fuller, the GH is going to come out on Wednesday. Will be my last day of that. That should hold me over pretty good. It is going to hopefully taper off some of the associated water with that by Saturday. And, kind of all these things we were doing are helping with the drying out process. Some people like to run GH into the show, but I feel like since we're not using the diuretic, that is a good call to go ahead and keep it out. So overall, I feel pretty good, pretty confident about it. It's definitely everybody says, oh, this is my best ever, but we were able to put on some good size in the off season, which enabled me to push down and have better conditioning. It's a process, right? My conditioning has improved. Kind of going down so far last year, I think helped with insulin sensitivity coming out of into the rebound, being able to put on more tissue and kind of losing off some of that fat that kind of stagnates around to just really get down to a more peeled look. Still not quite there with, elite conditioning, but I am getting closer. Glutes are peeled. Could be a little bit better. Hamstrings could be a little harder and striated, but my hamstrings just don't really get that striated. I don't have those kinds of fibers there like some people. I have long, kind of round hamstrings. Leg definition is pretty good. Continue to work on that as I put on more mass there. We've been able to hold on to the legs, which I've had trouble with in the past, which is excellent. So yeah, all in all, feel pretty good. Training hasn't been great for a while now. That's just comes with the territory of the low calories and depleting out. I wouldn't go so far as to say this is a depletion workout, but by the time I do cardio, the little bit of carbs the glycogen that's stored from that is pretty much gone. So just kind of pump it out here, maybe a little bit more reps. I still try to, loads aren't as high. I don't want to injure myself. I want to actually make it to the show without a torn pec or bicep or something like that. But anyway, I'm doing a little back today. Just want to give a rundown of what's going on. I'll be in Las Vegas. The weigh-in will be Thursday. I'm a little close to the weight cap of 217. That's what I was heighted in last time. I woke up this morning with a little water fluctuation, about 214, so that's kind of close. Should be fine though. We'll be able to manage it. Sometimes people hold water on flights. I didn't really see that last time I flew. This will be the only time I've flown a significant distance for a show, so it's kind of a learning process for me still. Many say that if you don't eat carbs on the plane or that morning, that you shouldn't really have a problem with that. So hopefully that's the case. I'm not sure when the carb up will begin, but I would bet it would be after my weigh-in. So we should have plenty of time to load after that. And, I'm doing classic, so we kind of do want to come in a little on the slightly flat side. That's what the judges look for. They tend to lean toward that in the NPC. So I feel like we'll have a pretty good look. Should be a fun show, and we'll see you there. Okay, so City Cable Row here to start out. I started doing these for the last few weeks as the openers and prep for my back day. This is just an easy exercise to start. It really gets good tension directly on the lat. Letting go, pulling in, pulling the elbow behind the back for the contraction. I like to put my hand on my lat there, as you can see, my offhand, to really feel that mind-muscle connection. That helps me quite a bit on these, and just feel like it's a good opener. So everything's higher rep on these days. These are the top working sets. They're typically between 10 to 15 reps here. So on this pull down here, using the wide handle, purposefully leaning back some on this. I know that's not the textbook way to do these. We're not hitting directly on the lat. I wanted to get some more tension on the rhomboids here. Maybe get a little more detail there going into the show. And then I'll offset that by going to the V handle reverse. That really targets that kind of lower lat area, pulling down, really feeling that tension into the lat. Make sure you're letting it go, pulling from high, and bracing your core pretty good here. I really did these a lot during my off season as well. My feedback from my judges in my last show was develop the lower lat more, so that really helped. This is I call this a floor row. This is similar to T-bar row. It's this Gym 80 machine, chest supported here. As you can see, I'm slightly pulling my chest off the pad here to get a better scapular retraction. This is also kind of more like a shrug, targeting the trap area. So wide grip, seated cable row here again, targeting the upper back. Really letting it go and pulling it back, getting a good contraction on the upper back there, pulling it higher to target the upper back. If you went low, right, you'd be hitting with that lower lat area. I really like this machine, the seated pullover. I go 15 reps on this one again, higher rep. I usually do 4 or 5 plates on these in the off season. Here I'm only doing 2 1/4. Again, I wasn't just really going for it, going to failure, or trying to really put a heavy load on the muscle here. I'm just trying to not tear anything, be a little conservative here, and just kind of get a good contraction and feel like I did that. So moving on from this, I go into the Erector. This is a good machine. Really targets the lower back. Looks like it could be kind of painful. Sometimes you're sore afterwards, but that's okay. It really does the job of carving out the lower erectors there. Really good tension directly on that. I like this better than the hyper